government secrets.
All right, so for this week in government secrets, which for those of you regular listeners, you know, is a newish segment where we just spend a couple of minutes on something that happened this week in history. I'm slightly shifting the rules this week, as my great-great-grandfather did with football. Slightly changing the rules. Since it's Martin Luther King Day today, I'm doing Martin Luther King history, which didn't happen. He wasn't assassinated today in history. However, it is Martin Luther King Day. So, quick rundown, quick reminder of the assassination of Martin Luther King. And I went back and listened to a little bit of the episode where we actually covered this more in depth. It was episode 6, way back when we were young whippersnappers.
You were not knowing about Baltimore Camps Forward Pass Invention. It was the early days.
Baltimore. And at the time of episode 6, Graham did not know, I was proud to teach something Graham didn't know, that the only trial ever to be held on the assassination of Martin Luther King was in 1999. And it found that James Earl Ray was not the killer of Martin Luther King. It found that Lloyd Jowers, along with government agencies, multiple government agencies, assassinated Martin Luther King. And it was covered in the mainstream media. It just was barely covered. There's like a tiny little article in the back of the New York Times. And the entire King family was party to this lawsuit and agreed with the findings. So you'd think someone that might care about who killed their beloved father and husband and everything would be the King family. And the King family does not believe that James Earl Ray killed him. Lloyd Jowers was the owner of a bar and grill that was right across from where Martin Luther King was shot. And he's the one who broke down the gun and disposed of the gun. But the actual shooter was a Memphis police officer named Frank Strouser. And this is a clue, it comes from like 30, 40 years of research by William Pepper, who wrote The Plot to Kill King, I believe it's called, and you can look up, make sure you get the most current edition of the book. But, so it's Memphis police officer, but he was basically hired. I mean, I don't know if he was paid or just asked. I mean, he was an immense racist who was very happy that he shot King. But he was asked to kill him on behalf of the Dixie Mafia, which was connected to Hoover. So it's likely that Hoover basically said to his mafia buddies, hey, get someone to shoot King. And there were also other sniper groups in the area. So it seemed like if this guy didn't get the job done, then they were planning on other people doing it as backup. It's like, no matter what, King was not leaving Memphis that day. And he's taken to the hospital, apparently not yet dead. And then according to the research by William Pepper, he's then basically killed in the hospital. But he was on death's door anyway. And anyway, yeah, so for those who don't know, look it up. The only trial ever held in 1999, a civil trial, found that James Earl Ray did not kill Martin Luther King. He was Patsy. And the killers were this man, Lloyd Jowers, who was present at the trial. He was 90-some years old. He had nothing to gain by confessing, but he did. And he's no longer around, but in 1999 he was there, and he confessed that he had helped dispose of the rifle through witnesses that saw him dispose of the rifle. Yeah, so there you go.
And the media, this should have been like, the fact that I had to learn about this, last year, shows you how much this is, how Martin Luther King Day is always used really by sort of whitewashing neoliberals, to say, oh, he was for freedom and equality and all that stuff that he was, but they never talked about. And you have to go to like lefty social media people to point out the fact that Dr. King was also vehemently anti-war. He was pro-labor. He was a socialist. All his speeches of all this socialism and we're spending too much money, the wealthy have too much money, we spend too much money on war. Those speeches are never talked about in the mainstream media. It's always the I Have a Dream speech, which is a wonderful speech, but all these other speeches where he talked about this, let alone the fact that his murderers were connected to the FBI. That, those two little minor things just always happen to get whoops, we forgot. We'll get to it next year, I'm sure.
And in the final couple of years of his life, the reason they kind of let him live, honestly, I mean, the reason he wasn't killed before then, although someone did stab him, was that at first it was just about getting black people civil rights, getting black people equal rights. But then as it went on, he, guess what, started tying in poor white people, poor black people, and tying in a lot of people that were not just the black people in America, which all of a sudden was much more threatening to the government as a whole. And he also came out against capitalism. He has some great quotes against capitalism. He came out against the Vietnam War, which at first he was not keen to do because he really didn't want to be maligned for it. And he wanted to basically deal with poverty in America. But eventually, he just couldn't put it off any longer. And he came out against the Vietnam War. And all those things kind of came to a head where they were like, oh, this guy's getting far more threatening than just getting civil rights for black Americans.
That's that classic thing, when you just start with this one group, they'll let you, to a certain extent. But when you start unifying, Fred Hampton did the same thing from the Black Panther standpoint. And Fred Hampton said capitalism causes racism. And he really started to realize that. And, when at the end of Malcolm X's life, we talked about when he started to kind of talk with Dr. King more, rather than
and unite, be willing to work with white folks, uniting people more than just saying, this is a black movement.
Yeah, that's when they killed Malcolm X, which we've covered on the show.
If you want to show me a slide real quick, that is the famous photo of the other people with MLK pointing to where the shooter was. Now, what you can't see is that the reason they're pointing up is there's an embankment there that goes up. And there was all these, you see a larger shot of the area, there's all these bushes, which we covered this in episode 6. Everybody should go back and check that out. But there's all these bushes, hedges there that the shooter was hiding behind. And the following day, the Memphis, city government or whatever, municipal government, cuts down all of the hedges and basically destroys the entirety of the crime scene. They claim, it's just scheduled to be cut down that day. But of course, it's because that once all those were cut down, now no one could say, the shooter was hiding behind the hedges, because there's no hedges there. So the lie, which was that the shooter was James Earl Ray in James Earl Ray's room, he was staying in a hotel room, and he was inside the bathroom shooting through the window. All of a sudden, that becomes the only possibility because, any shooter that was out on that lawn would have been seen, except that there were hedges there the day before. We're just cleaning up the crime scene. Sometimes, we really got to get these hedges out of the way of the crime scene.
I mean, listen, whenever there's a crime scene, you definitely want to just kind of wipe it clean.
Yeah.
Get rid of everything.
Sometimes there are bloodstains muddying up the crime scene. Bloodstains, there's footprints that just really, really awful for a crime scene to get all the footprints on it. So what you need to do, if you ever see a dead body, is just dump some bleach on it, scrub it down.
Hose it, get a big hose out. Yeah. Get rid of any gunpowder residue that could be on a leaf or anything like that. Get rid of all of it.
You want to get it ready for the authorities. That's how you do that. If there's a body, you chop it up and you throw it in the river, and that's how you get ready for the criminologists to really check things out.
I'm going to do some how-to videos, how to get your crime scene ready. Like I'm going to just do some basic cleanup tips of a crime scene.
For a thorough investigation.
Yeah, so you did all the evidence collected correctly. That's great. That's fantastic. All right, buddy. Whose secret do we want to do first?
Oh God, let's do yours first.
Let's do mine.
Government secrets. Secret number 1.
Well, I think in honor of MLK Day, it's fitting to point out another way Bill Clinton, as president, completely helped he's always thought to be the distinct hero of black people, African Americans, and other people around the world.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 35th best president.
And so he's always referred to what happened in Rwanda, and he kind of was like, would sort of slightly beat himself up, like, I should have done more. It was happening, it was always told sort of, it was happening so quickly that we didn't have time to respond. And the Rwandan genocide was awful. But there's an article in Current Affairs that came out in 2016, real quick, Shameful Genocide Denial. So
I love the idea of it happening so quickly because the U.S. government, we always sit back and see how things turn out first. We're never first on the ground. The moment there's an election going down, and we might want to be involved in. We sit back, we see how things go.
We don't participate in 30-some coups or whatever that we've covered on the show.
This is a list of 28 U.S.-backed coups in Latin America. I think in the past 20 years, the past 20 years.
Yeah, 28. Just in Latin America.
Yeah, just in Latin America. Maybe the past 30 years. Just in Latin America.
Since the CIA's inception, there's been something like 40 or something worldwide.
And that's coups. That's not influence, which
right.
A whole other thing.
That number is infinite. So I'm going to read a little bit from this article. The events of Rwanda in 1994 will be a true test of the country's commitment to the principle that we would never again, right? We always said after World War II, never again, right? We saw Germany stop finally, and then we found out towards the end of the war what was happening in the death camps, and we always said never.
Again, the U.S. had no idea. Things were bad. They thought, I'm sure wherever he's sending the news by great.
Right.
Yeah.
When you put people on rail cars, and transport them like cattle, it's going to be a good outcome. I mean, you just already know it's something good's coming.
And for those who think that, well, the U.S. did eventually get in there and save all those people. Well, you know what we didn't do? Is bomb the rail lines headed to the concentration camps. Not on the list.
Yep. Never happened. So what they say was the Rwandan genocide was fundamentally an event that could have been stopped or at least significantly mitigated through the taking of steps that were known and feasible. But over the course of the 100 days, as literally hundreds of thousands of bodies piled up in Rwanda, President Clinton did exactly what he had promised he would never do. He remained silent and paralyzed in the face of genocide. And even as his fragmentary awareness grew into indisputable facts, he lackadaisically permitted it to happen again. But they're quoting his speech where he was like, we'll never let this happen again, right, about World War II, right? But what is seldom acknowledged is Clinton actually did something worse. And this is sort of on par with the Democrats in general, the United States in general, the Republican, but really the Clintons. This is right, page 1 of the Clinton handbook of deception and bullshit is the oh, golly, we didn't know. Hillary's famously said that about Harvey Weinstein. Well, we didn't know. We didn't know when I was Secretary of State.
When I was calling Ronan Farrow trying to get him to crush the Harvey Weinstein story, how could I have known?
How could I have known? When Ghislaine Maxwell came to our daughter's wedding, when I was a sitting Secretary of State, when we had a background check for a former president and a sitting Secretary of State.
And he's already a sex offender.
Yes. How could we have known that this woman who settled out of court 2 years prior for being a pedophile and a sex trafficker, how could we have known that thing that everyone already knew when she was at her daughter's wedding?
What am I, a sidekick? Did I swallow a monkey's paw? I don't.
All right. Still any progressives, guys. Let's talk about some news tonight. Let's burn through some issues. Let's react to very slant-eyed reaction videos. And I do have one story that's personally involved tonight. So just to start out, I'm a Stony Progressive, and I will be trying to do these on a nightly basis here on out, through the election at least this year. See how it goes. If you are watching this, I know most of my viewers are not subscribers, and so just go ahead and maybe share one of my videos with somebody who it's relevant with. I'll try to start clipping them better every night so you can just share the relevant bits, especially individual stories that are like my soon-to-be coverage of protests, and all my Congress takedowns will be unique a bit, so those are shareable with people who maybe live in those regions. I am getting suppressed already. I have seen my videos. I've gone to sleep and seen my videos at 30 views, and I wake up to 10 views or 5 views. They're getting cut by half in the morning. So I know that I am in the loop, and I will talk about the story at the end of the show. To start out, I think we're going to take a little, smoke one and watch a little comedy. There was a great clip this week. One of the, if you've not seen it, Graham Elwood and Ron Pacone do a fantastic game show, and today I think we should all sit back, burn, and maybe laugh a little at some political humor. And then I will be doing my video about School of West right after.
Pressure is mounting as we go into the final question of round one. Which prominent Republican or Democrat
I'm holding a dog paw for luck.
said this quote? I've now been in 57 states.
Mike.
Democrat.
Mike Kaplan, you just got yourself a point.
Woo!
If you get this correct, you will tie Mary Lynn, forcing a round one playoff to pick the round two category. Or Mary Lynn takes the round. Which prominent Democrat said that quote?
I remember that it happened, but I only remember what happened today. So I'm just going to say Obama.
Mike Kaplan, you just tied us up. That is correct. President Barack Obama said, I've now been in 57 states.
Good one.
Oh man, he's such a good president. He goes like 110%. That's, I mean, 110% would be 55 states, but if I'm getting that correct, yeah, I think that's right. So he went even more. He went like 100 and 14.
What a biatch. What a brown noser on the School of Life. Take it easy, smarty pants.
I feel like Obama, when he said that, he was just
giving
giving statehood to all the territories like Guam and Puerto Rico, and he was just, that's what he was doing. He just said, I'm making them all states.
Maybe it was states of being. I was in anxiety. I was in a state of distress.
Yeah. Nirvana.
I was in a state of hope.
Hey, did you get Obama on here? Is there? That was a good. I liked it.
Yeah, that's why we have Ron on the show, because he does an Obama. All right, Ron. Well, we now have seen it happen.
Tiebreaker, man. History.
A round one tiebreaker. This has never happened. Both contestants have 3 points. This will see who gets the lead going into round two, who gets to pick the category for round two, but the super delegate could blow that up.
Still looming.
All right. Which prominent? Well, no, we can't do this category for
Should
right?
we do? I mean, we can, but we've never been in this situation before. This is
I don't know what
first.
to do, Ron. This is insanity.
Anything could happen.
We just gotta ask a question. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Mike, you go first.
I was gonna say you should do. I was thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Okay, I say that you're thinking of the number 4.
No, you know what? We'll just read the question. Why not?
Okay.
We'll figure this out. If it happens again, then we are going to have to, and then I'm going to have to put either an odd or an even behind my back, and we're going to have to do that.
Okay. We're going to do a virtual rock, paper, scissors. We'll see. We'll see who has the stronger internet between you two.
We need to get a commemorative anything can happen coin and flip it. Okay.
Flip it. And that's called the Iowa solution.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
that's what we need to do if this ever happens again. Anything can happen. We might even come up with new rules. That's a possibility too. that just happened.
The rules. All right. Tied at 3 to take the lead and pick the category for round 2. Which prominent Republican or Democrat said this quote? When the president does it, that means it's not illegal.
Mike.
Is that a Republican?
Mike, that is correct. You have the lead. If you get this correct, you are the leader going into round 2. If not, Mary Lynn could tie it, and we have to go into a whole new territory of insanity. So which prominent Republican said, when the president does it, that means it's not illegal?
I said it before, and I'll say it again because it wasn't right last time, and it might not be right this time, but Trump?
That is incorrect, Mike Kaplan. Mary Lynn, a chance to tie it and force another round 1 overtime bonus question. Which prominent Republican said this quote? When the president does it, that means it's not illegal.
Like, it's every name jumps into your head right now, right? Like, literally every single politician you can possibly think of jumps in your head when you hear this. It's a great question. It's I was cracking up the first time I heard it. I watched this like 3 times, guys. I like the show. I like the questions. They're fun. But this question.
Bush.
Mary Lynn. Incorrect. So that means, Ron, tell everybody which corrupt, they're all corrupt, but which corrupt president said this?
Those were both excellent guesses. I think Bush would have been my first guess and Trump would have been my second, but that was actually Richard Nixon.
Tricky Dicky.
God, I had an urge to say Nixon again, but
it's sometimes you gotta stick with your instincts on anything can happen. If you overthink it, you get yourself into a crazy world.
It's true. Sometimes you have to stick with your instincts, but other times you want to go with your measured afterthought and not your instincts. And so you just got to figure out which one to do and which. Like, I listen to my gut, and my gut says use your brain, but then I listen to my brain, and my brain's like go with your gut. So what are you gonna do?
Well, what if you don't know the difference between your gut and your brain, and you think it's your gut, but it's actually your brain?
Ooh,
that's a great question.
That's fantastic. Well, we'll be right back on existential quandaries after this.
Then you just got to do a bonus question. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Mike, you have the lead after round 1. 4-3.
4-3.
Mike has the lead 4-3. Okay, Mike, I'm going to read 3 categories for you to choose from for round 2. One of them, as I said, is a fake category. If that happens, we will award Mary Lynn 2 points and put her in the lead 5-4. If you pick a regular category, then you maintain your points in your lead and start us off into round 2. So, which of these 3 categories do you want to choose from? And they are...
Is he trying to put us in suspense here? Grandma's a comedian who does politics. One of my favorite parts of his impromptu thing is you would think he doesn't have a producer to help him out with shows. He's low budget and he does a great job. He's funny, but he always hesitates on moving in. Like, he's as stoned as I am right now.
Name that dictator. Or Marjorie Taylor Greene's Twitter account or Mad Magazine. Or the third category, who said this? Politician or supervillain?
Whoa.
Whew. I What I would like is the middle one involving Mad Magazine.
So Mike Kaplan is picking Marjorie Taylor Greene's Twitter account or Mad Magazine. Mike Kaplan, that's the fake one.
No.
It's the first time anyone's picked it.
Anything can happen.
That is a fake category that Ron and I thought up on the phone 10 minutes before the show. Actually, Ron came up with that. I was like, Ron, we need a fake one. He just said that. I started laughing. So that is a fake category, although
a fake category might be able to become a real one in the future, though.
That might become a real one.
I already missed that category.
So
on a future show, just to be clear, if you do use that category, then please retroactively assign me 2 more points as well.
Yes, Mike. If that happens, we will absolutely retroactively points and we will send them in the mail.
In a game show that is for comedians and political, mostly comedians. This is always comedians.
But this is the first time it's happened. Mary Lynn, congratulations. You now have the lead 5-4 with 2 super delegate points. I
didn't even have to do anything.
Isn't that great?
I just had to get out of the way and wait for Mike to screw up.
Yes, it's your turn.
Politics.
Politics.
So now, Mary Lynn, the 2 categories remaining that are both real categories, which one would you like to do? Either name that dictator, or who said this, or whose plan was this, politician or supervillain?
Name that dictator.
Name that dictator it is. Congratulations, Mary Lynn. We are going now into round 2. Mary Lynn has the lead 5-4 after the first ever super delegate. Ron, how do you feel right now going into round 2?
My cat's going nuts, man. Even she's stoked about this. She's like, I can't believe this. I don't know if you can see her, but she's climbing up me. But yeah, history's been made multiple times. It's the first time we went halvesies on the first question. First time someone's picked the super delegate category. Coming into 2022 hot, man.
Very, very hot. All right. Name that dictator. I will read you something that the dictator did, and I will give you multiple choice. There will be 4 choices. First person to raise their hand gets to pick. If they're incorrect, the other contestant has a chance to try to steal a point. There's only 1 point available in this round.
Okay.
So is there only 1 question in this round?
Yes, there's only 1 question, but it's a multiple choice answer. There's 4. I will read what the person did, and you'll pick, is it this person, this person, this person, or that person? A, B, C, and D. So let us get to name that dictator. All right. Having a reputation for being a bully, he was expelled from school at the age of 10 for stabbing a classmate in the hand. Was it A, Benito Mussolini, B, Gigi Allen, C, Dick Cheney, D, Kim Jong-un?
Mike.
I want to say Mussolini.
Mike Kaplan, you just tied us back up. That is correct.
That was my guess, too. Seems like a very Italian thing to do. Just willy-nilly in the classroom.
Just right in someone's hand. A blood oath vendetta.
I love Italy. It's like my favorite place. Please don't take offense.
And if I may offer to sort of cleanse the palate of this, it's not racism against Italians, but it's something. I want to offer a joke to unite everyone against me. Do you know what Rocky and Bullwinkle is called in Italy?
No.
It's Mussolini and Squirrelini.
Hey, did you hear about the Italian chef who died?
No.
He passed away.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it at 2 dad jokes. Actually, let's go ahead.
I'm so sorry for his family.
Yeah.
Oh, thoughts and prayers for the Italian chef that passed away. That was, Ron, that's another anything that happened. We've never had 2 contestants do jokes.
Right.
That was fantastic. All right, we are all.
Yeah. That's enough. But you guys get the idea. That was this week's Anything Could Happen. They follow it up with a You Should Know This, where they lose their guest and Ron and Graham go against each other for to see who knows the other's topics. Ron is a very knowledgeable person on music, and Graham is a if you've seen him before, it must have been on probably Movie Geeks, or he did a show with Doug Stanhope, and yeah, he did a documentary on podcasters back in the day. So he knows movies and he knows comedy casting. But good comedy to check out if you are in some need of some political humor. So go through now that we've waited a little bit. Check out our daily news. And Rad Any Media is a fantastic way if you are in a hurry and to check out headlines. Again, that Bronx fire is local news. It is not just Biden, Republicans, Democrats suck. There's a shelter crisis going on this planet right now, especially America and other richer nations. We can't seem to get quite everybody housed. That's just not something we can do. I usually black out of thinking when I see the name Biden, as with any of our presidents. First thing is knowing is that the president doesn't mean anything. They're just there. So my story today, I'm going to go ahead and so, all right, I'm going to flip this. Oh, that's fun. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to clip this out anyway. So, sure this will get edited too, but just wanted to let everybody know, Stony Progressive, censorship and whatnot is completely real. Oh, hello. I am currently getting a mark from YouTube for showing a YouTube video on YouTube and talking about a YouTube video on YouTube. YouTube is giving me a strike. I literally, during this thread, the Indian Media Review and candidate lookup, I literally online looked up the candidates I was going to talk about the following day, and I went through Rad Indian Media and a couple other media sites only showing news clips from YouTube itself onto YouTube. And showing YouTube's clips from YouTube, I got told I was cyberbullying or harassing. So any videos I showed was from somebody else. I don't want to bring up the subject. I feel like even bringing up the subjects from that day's review will bring me into another strike. But I have been edited already, and as I said at the beginning of the stream, but as a clip video, I am getting hit with, I'll go to bed and see my videos at 30, 25 views, and then I wake up in the morning and they're down to 11 to 12, or 4 or 5, from 20 down to 5, from 30 to 15. They get cut in half. They get cut by 15, 20. And as somebody who has almost no views, I'm very small, very nothing. I'm just trying to do this to, again, share a little perspective on things that big people can't seem to slow down for. Only clickbait stuff gets hit a lot, so I'm going to try to be a voice, bringing light on politicians and light on anything that I can dig up. And while I do that, I'm already getting hit, just trying to build something. So my news clips, you will see me trying to take from independent sites. As a news consumer, I started out years ago just doing documentaries, binge watching those. I from then went to TYT, and that's when I discovered Jimmy Dore was on TYT. There was also people on TYT that were fantastic. Michael Woods Jr. was extremely knowledgeable, and what he's still doing is probably fantastic. He just kind of took himself off social media to actually do things, which is, of course, great. And I mean, there were so many people on TYT that you could see that were good. I mean, Jordan Sheridan came out of TYT. Now he's doing Status Quo. You will see me check him out, and he was doing a Flint water project today, which is fantastic. I still watch Jimmy Dore. He's gone a little too much on the COVID overdose, so I take a break more now. There's more things going on than just COVID. I just had COVID. Most likely I had a viral infection that I'm still suffering from like 3 weeks later, so I probably had COVID, but the fact remains that it's here, it's present, but we don't have to talk about it every minute. That was like, there's so many people that I thought were good on TYT, and when they reported on something, they were fine, but their opinions start to annoy you more and more. That was what made me stop watching in 2015 during the election, not after 2016 when most people stopped giving up. We just really watched for Jimmy videos, like just only watching for if the aggressive progressive was why we had membership. So yeah, so that really changed everything, and they just completely gave up on news. They went to the back and forth, and that's not why you watch a show like that. It's just ridiculous. So, and now there's people like Emma Viglegard and Francesca that I saw on TYT back then, and when you watch them now, they've just completely gone mainstream, and maybe that was maybe they were just on TYT because that was the only people that would have them, but and most of TYT is mainstream now. So Johnny, I was actually blocked by Anna Kasparian, and that's something I'm quite okay with because she is gone off the deep end of extreme thinking and bubble projection. Like she's in a bubble, so she projects upon us. So that's okay that she blocked me. YouTube wants to delete things because I showed other YouTube videos that were small enough that I don't know why anybody would delete this, but if you want to delete me because I was showing other things already on your platform, let's watch and see if these views get deleted tonight. Always interesting, and I will be dropping this clip. Let's see what happens. But I'm going to keep pushing through. Like I said, if they take the channel down, I guess that's what they do, but I'm going to research candidates. I will show news clips from their own platform, and I will follow any protest or rallies, strikes, anything I can find. I might try to load those all up on like Friday or Saturday from here on, and keep it lighter on work nights because I'm working full time. Obviously, this is a labor of love. Let's just have a little fun with it. So my other story I wanted to talk about, which kind of mind-boggling to me, and I heard about it today on Tom Hartman, another fantastic person to follow. If you want to check somebody out, THOM Hartman, Tom. He is definitely a Democrat, but he comes at you with facts, and he will myth bust any of the far-right talking points that are complete crap. He is really interesting on myth busting. He used to do a show called Lone Liberal Rubble, where he would take on 2 to 3 super hardcore right-wingers, and he would just myth bust. He would just snap at them. This guy was 70 back then. He's in his mid-70s now. He's still sharp, still a very good debater and very interesting person to hear. So during his show today, he mentioned School of West, and I don't even know how to start with this one, guys. It's intense. So School of West is a program in which you can homeschool your children. And in this homeschooling, they push forward. I just want to show it. I'm not really into this whole day, honestly. I heard it. I'm going to show it from the article I found, the first article I could find, the only article I could find. Homeschool lectures created by ex-teacher circulated online promote white well-being. And that's what the school says right here. Welcome to white well-being. This is a school of the West. West literally being, the creator was from Arizona, and I guess the West being Western, he thinks Western culture is white culture somehow, but School of the West. Anything, yeah, can happen, I guess. That clip before. That's interesting enough. But yeah, so School of the West is a school for youth and teen white well-being courses. They teach, these are their courses. This is, how can you even make this up? White well-being, language arts, history and culture, mathematics, art, science, and program and engineering. God, they have one useful class, I guess, right? Without paying, you can't actually look into these categories. You can just see them. But this is from an ex-Arizona teacher known as Brant Danger, who released this white well-being curriculum online. The School of West is a homeschooling curriculum that offers paid and free lectures for various subjects, including basic math, science, history, art, and language arts. One unique field being white well-being. You have to think this is just ridiculous, right? And if this is literally the school's website with their categories, And if you go to look into their membership plans, they, I don't even, okay. There's no way you can read this on here. It's a little heartbreaking, though. The concept of biospirit and Western kind are the foundations of understanding differences between races of mankind and their civilizational instincts. This class will instruct children to the discrimination they may face in their lives and how to deal with it. Children will understand the gift of being born a member of Western kind and the qualities that separate us from other races. The key concept, each race carries a separate set of instincts and called biospirit. The other key concept taught is the white race is known as Western kind because only the white race can build Western civilization. Without Western kind, there is no Western civilization. I'm getting a little sick to my stomach here. That's just gross. I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the last concepts here. The teen one, again, this is gross. A significant percentage of Western kind is devoted to a quagmire of selfish and individual spiritual pursuits have been replaced by materialism. Other people have forgotten that our well-being is contingent upon our group well-being. So, all right. There are key concepts when you're a teen finishing up this course. The advances of Western civilization are due to flashes of individual brilliance built within a well-functioning, high-trust society. The society is a manifestation of our biosphere. Our governments are corrupt because their members use positions to enrich themselves. I'll take that. Western civilization has suffered catastrophic failures of leadership. Tradition is integral to the functioning of a nation. Tradition is what you call the solution to a problem. After you've forgotten what the problem is, take away solution and the problem comes back. And yes, so this fantastically awful place doesn't cost a ton because they want to spread their propaganda. They don't want to make a ton of money. The thing that kind of grossed me out, and I really hope these are bots, but were the top comments on this. And again, I really hope these are completely fake, but so here's one of the top comments by a person from a name who, yeah, it's very, very standard sounding. Oh, brother, so it's okay if other races of people care about and promote the well-being of their kids, but not whites? Seriously? I'm glad to see there's a homeschooling curriculum for white kids that deviates from mainstream anti-whiteism that is taught in public schools. Sounds like more parents need, and I don't need to see more of that comment. I'm really hoping these are bots because of actually people, when you click on them, they're always like anonymous, like even the names are anonymous. But yeah, guest, always a guest, never actually their name. So it could be one person doing all these. But it's good to see that there's someone teaching our children self-respect and respect for our culture and its achievements. Far too long, our children have been subject to anti-white indoctrination in schools with devastating consequences for the development psyche. They teach slavery in the South as it was better than when they became free, and the slave masters loved their slaves that they owned, and that's how they teach it. And you're saying that they're anti-white? You're saying that the public schools that teach that garbage, like in Texas, and they're anti-white? That doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. And like I said, all of the people that are all happy about this are guess. Nobody's like a diehard actual person there. They just spam the crap out of it with guest information. So take it as you will. I swear, if you hear anybody that actually goes to this thing, and this is an actual, like, please share with them that this is just horrible. Like, white well-being. How tone deaf, how retardedly bad information are we giving her? Why do people believe this? This is scary. This is really scary. I am scared. Biospirit Western, like the youth, teen, understanding propaganda. I think if you understood propaganda at all, you would literally look at this website and go, red light propaganda. There's no way you look at this and think that, like, their key concepts are all the same. Their key concepts are all pushing one narrative. So if your key concepts are narratives, then are you not propaganda? Can you not? Is there anybody else that doesn't see this? Anyhow, that's just. I try to look it up online to see if anybody else has done this, and when I get School of West, I get nothing from YouTube, so nobody's really screaming about this yet. It's always disgusting to see anything like this, and interesting to see Fox Business actually caring about schools going green. It's fantastic information. Wasn't expecting that. So thank you, Fox News. But I am just going to say, leaving it there. Starting my nightly shows. Be doing this hopefully every night at midnight. And especially with things like that thrown at me, I will definitely try to relay and bring it back for everybody. If you're watching this later, blaze one up, check it out. But that School of the West, gotta break that clip off and share it around, guys. That is a really horrible situation. We can not let people think that that kind of trying to teach anti-propaganda with propaganda is the absolute poison that we could be doing right now. And yeah, we need to burn that bridge. Yeah, that was the worst thing I heard today. So let's check out some indie media again tomorrow night. Post midnight, I will hop on Eastern Standard Time sometime after midnight. Get home from the bar, set this up, and I'll share any news segments I can find. And I think I'll be doing my congressional hit pieces on closer to the weekend, and I'll be doing my protest strike update on the weekend night. Let's stay stony and pay attention.